Hello and a very good morning to all of you. Today in this lecture we are going to discuss current affairs of 16th September 2023. And due to some technical issues we have not gone live today. So normally live will be there at 9 a.m. every day, but because of some technical issues I am posting this recorded video on this platform. And if you are watching this Rathod's IAS Academy for the first time, please do subscribe to this channel so that you will be getting a lot of updates regarding current affairs and even much more interesting videos regarding your GS. So let us see the first important topic. So as you all know that we are going to see Hindu newspaper PDF along with the notes simultaneously so that we can cover important articles from UPSC point of view and state public service examination point of view altogether. So don't skip the video. So watch from first to last. Okay, till last you have to watch so that you will be getting some more interesting points. So first topic it is about goods trade deficit hits 10-month high. So here which is a important keyword that you have to focus. So here you have to focus on this word trade deficit. So here you have to focus on this word trade deficit. So you will come across this word trade deficit in your economy. So economy which comes under part of your GS paper 3, and there is a chance of getting questions regarding this trade deficit in your prelims and as well as your mains. Okay, so this topic is important from your prelims and even mains. So here you have to understand what exactly is this trade deficit. And you have to see why there is trade deficit now. And also you have to see what is the impact of this trade deficit on our economy as a whole. So these are some subtopics that you have to remember under this main topic of this trade deficit. So whenever you are talking about trade, what comes under your trade? We have exports and imports. So we have exports and imports which comes under this topic of trade. So in this exports and imports, whenever exports are more compared to that of imports, that condition is called as trade surplus. So trade surplus is a condition where exports are more compared to that of imports. And whenever imports are more compared to that of exports, that condition is called as trade deficit. So I hope you can understand what is the meaning of this trade deficit now, right? So whenever imports are more compared to that of exports, so this condition is called as trade deficit. So what is this article saying about? So this article says that in month of August, so we have trade deficit of around $24.16 billion. So because of this, there is still widening of our current account deficit is seen. And here why there is trade deficit now? In month of August, exports they had decreased by 6.86%. So for continuously from last 7 months onwards, we are seeing there is decreasing of our exports. So because of this, yes, there is widening of this trade deficit is seen, and here you can see, okay, we are below this zero now. So this is this article, and now let us try to see some basic points that you have to know regarding this topic called as trade deficit. So you can expect a mains question and even prelims question. So you need to be very much clear regarding the basics of this trade deficit. Is it clear? So this is our notes of this The Hindu. So here you can download these notes in Telegram channel and the link is given in the description box. So here context says that India's foreign trade hit fresh throw. Throw means nothing but downfall. So whenever you are talking about any wave, so this is called as crest and this is called as throw, right? So here we are seeing there is a downfall in our exports in month of August, and there is about 6.86% of decreasing of this exports that is seen in the month of August. So if you see some more details, So here this image, it is pictographically depicting like what exactly is this trade deficit. Okay, deficit means nothing but, so what happened whenever imports are more imports, less exports. So this condition is called as deficit. And surplus means exports are more and imports are less. So this image will represents about what is a trade surplus and what is a trade deficit. I hope you can clearly understand it now. What is this trade deficit? Trade deficit is nothing but when a country's imports surpass its exports in a fiscal year, it is considered to be trade deficit. Trade deficit means more imports compared to exports. So that condition, whenever we are seeing in any country, that comes under your trade deficit. The term trade deficit refers to the amount of international trade that take place between countries throughout the world. Okay, so here what happened? So whenever we are going for international trade means trade between the countries. So why we need to focus on trade? So each and every country, you can see they are not self-sufficient. So every country will be having some deficiency. So to fill that deficiency or to fill that vacuum, we are going to other country and we are bringing that resource or that goods that we are in need, right? So because of this, here one country is dependent upon another country, and this dependency has been increased because of even globalization to some extent. So even we can link this concept of globalization as well. Is it clear? And now let us see what are the causes of this trade deficit. So why there is a causing of trade deficit? So first one is whenever there is decreased production of goods, what happened? There will be decreasing of exports. So whenever there is decreased production, that will lead to decreasing of exports. And next one here is even whenever decreasing of production, that will also increase imports to satisfy the needs of the people. And next one is whenever there is lack of raw material. So whenever there is lack of raw material, we can't go for producing or production of that goods. So that will further lead to decreasing of exports. And next one here is whenever we are going for exporting of raw material. So whenever we are going for exporting of raw material for other countries, so again that will lead to decreasing of production of final goods. So that is also one important cause for this trade deficit. So I hope you understand this concept. So now let us see what is the impact of this trade deficit. So whenever there is increasing of trade deficit, means what happened? That will also rises the standard of living at first. So whenever there is trade deficit, that means whenever we are importing more, okay, whenever we are importing more, what happened? So the availability of goods will be increased in the market. So such that we can see initially in the first stage of this trade deficit, yes, there will be increasing of standard of living. And why? Because there is a high access to the things. There is a heavy access to the things, to the people. So because of this, firstly, so whenever the trade deficit had been started, so in the initial stages, yes, there will be increasing of standard of living of people. And next one is if trade is imbalance is happening, means government will have to obtain additional foreign exchange to close the gap, causing the local currency to fall. So what happened? So we are importing goods from other country, right? So there is increasing of imports. So whenever there is increasing of import, the country which is importing that need to pay, right? So that country need to pay in dollars to the country where we are importing the goods. So because of this, that will lead to increasing of import bill. So what happened? Because of this increasing of import bill, that will lead to increasing of demand for dollar. So because of increasing of demand for the dollar, why dollar? Because we are normally using dollar for this payments. So what happened? Local currency value will fall. So local currency value will fall. So that concept is called as depreciation. Is it clear? That is called as depreciation. So it is one of the important reason for increasing of value of dollar against rupee, right? So please let me know. So $1 is equal to how many rupees in the comment box? So this is the one important concept, that is depreciation. Why? Because whenever there is increased demand for the dollar, that will lead to fall the demand for rupee, so that we can see the value of rupee will be getting down. So this concept is called as depreciation. So in opposite we have another term, that is appreciation. So appreciation, when it happens, whenever there is increased exports. Okay, so international markets, so there will be increased demand for rupee. So whenever there is increased demand for rupee, value of rupee will be increased. That concept is called as appreciation. So you have to remember this, it is at most important. And next one here is, whenever there is import-export imbalances happening, whenever there is a large trade deficit, that will also lead to the recruitment of foreign investors. And next one here is, whenever there is less exports and more imports, means even it will be also affecting the employment opportunities. So that will decrease employment opportunities because of decreased level of what? Production. And next one is, there will be increased demand for imported items, that will lead to decrease in demand for locally produced goods. So because of this, what happened? It will be having negative impact on domestic industries or indigenous industries, and that will further leads to increasing of unemployment. Is it clear? So this is about this topic, trade deficit. I hope you understand this topic very much clear. So if you have any doubt, please post your doubt in the comment section. And next topic, it is about government notifies 3 benches of GST appellate tribunal. So what is the keyword that we have to focus here? That is about GST appellate tribunal. So in our constitution, there are some articles which talks about this word tribunal. So please let me know which are the articles which talks about this tribunal in our constitution. So that is very much important. And even in your Lakshmikant book, so there is a separate chapter which talks about these tribunals. Okay. So here we have to focus on this GST appellate tribunals. So here this article says that government notifies about 31 benches of this GST appellate tribunals. So here this article is talking about regional benches. So here what you have to focus? You have to focus on what is this GST appellate tribunal. So first one here is, you have to focus on GST appellate tribunal. So in this topic of this GST appellate tribunal, you have to focus on what is it exactly, and you have to see why, what is the need to come up with these regional benches now. And next one here is some basic facts regarding this. And even if time permits, you have to see what is this GST, that is goods and service tax. So it is nothing but it is one nation one tax. We came up with this one nation one tax system. It is one of the biggest tax reforms in our country in year 2017. Okay, so here you have to see different types of GST. We have central GST, state GST and inter IGST, right? And you have to see why, what are the advantages of this GST implementation. If there are any disadvantages, so what are they? So already number of times already UPSC asked a question regarding this GST. But here you have to focus on this GST appellate tribunal now. So let us try to see, and this topic is also important from your GS paper 3 under your economy. So even you have a chance of getting both prelims and mains based question. Is it clear? Shall we move on? So context says that our finance ministry, that is Union Finance Ministry, constituted about 31 appellate tribunals across 28 states and 8 union territories for this GST. Okay, so why? So what is the reason for why we need this? Because to resolve these disputes regarding GST filing. Okay, to resolve the growing number of taxpayer dispute with the revenue department, we need these appellate tribunals. Okay, so if there is no tribunal means, so cases will go on to directly courts. So in courts we have integrated system. So we have Supreme Court at top, in state we have High Court, and in districts we have subordinate courts. So already one important problem which is faced by our judiciary is increasing of pendency of cases. So even if we are not coming up with these appellate tribunals, that will increases pressure on these courts. So as you all know that delayed justice is denied justice, so we should not see that, and we have to ensure there is a proper justice delivery also. So for that, yes, this appellate tribunals are very important for the faster justice delivery system. So now let us see what is the need for these tribunals. So in the absence of this GST appellate tribunal, taxpayers are filing writ petitions. So here you have to say what is this writ. So in our constitution, article 32 talks about writs. So we have different types of writs. So please let me know which are those writs and what is the difference between one and another. So that point is at most important from your prelims. Okay, so because of this absence of this GST appellate tribunal, taxpayers are filing the writ petitions and they are directly moving to high courts. So that what happened, there is increased burden on these high courts and they may not have specialized bench for this GST matters. So because of this, what are the impacts? There is increasing of pendency of cases and even there is increased time taken to provide justice, that means delayed justice system, and even there is no special benches. So these are the impacts of this thing. So because of this, yes, we need these tribunals. And next one is absence of this GST tribunals, that will lead to huge pile up of cases, and because of this, people they will be not having even trust on the government, so that will lead to increasing of trust deficit. So now let us try to see some facts regarding this GST appellate tribunal. Section 109 of GST mandates the constitution of this GST appellate tribunal and its benches. So it is nothing but a specialized authority and it will be dealing with the disputes, and it will be talking about how these disputes need to be resolved. And this one is the principal bench is located in Delhi, and each state they can decide on the number of benches or boards they require. Okay, and after deciding by the states, they can get approval from this GST council. So these are some important things. And you have to see even composition of this tribunal, because there is chance of getting question regarding this composition as well. So if you see this composition, the bench will consist of 2 judicial members and 2 technical members with a selection committee or panel, and this selection panel will include senior judicial member from the state high court. So the bench consisting of 2 judicial members and 2 technical members, including selection panel. Okay, so who will be heading this tribunal? So tribunal is likely to be headed by former Supreme Court judge or former Chief Justice of High Court. So this is very important prelims fact. So these are some important things that you have to remember. So I want to give you one mains question for practice. Try to write answer for this question. Question here is an expeditious constitution of an appropriate appellate structure in the form of national and sub-national benches of GST tribunal will provide an effective and speedy resolution of disputes. So there is one statement given. So this statement says that yes, there is a need of setting up of this tribunals. So if there is absence of tribunals means what happens? So absence of tribunals lead to delaying of justice. So if you are having this appellate tribunals, so we can ensure effective and speedy resolution of disputes, and the key word here is analyze. So analyze means nothing but you have to break that statement into parts and you have to say that yes, there is a link between one part and another. So this is the key word, that is analyze. What is the meaning of this keyword analyze? Is it clear? So this is about this question, and try to write answer, and the word limit here is 150 words. So here you have to focus on just what is the importance of this appellate tribunal. Is it clear? Let us move on. And next topic it is about GM crops. So title says that a GM crop decision that cuts the mustard. So this article is talking about GM mustard. So what is this GM? GM is nothing but genetically modified. So we had different types of genetically modified crops. For example, you can talk about BT brinjal. We have BT cotton. And we have GM mustard. And we have golden rice. Golden rice is nothing but in rice we do not have gold, but there is one compound which leads to the red color of the rice. That is nothing but carotene. Golden rice. So these are some examples of this GM modified plants. Okay. So this article is focusing on especially GM mustard. So this article says that yes, there is increasing of hunger. And you know that in global hunger index also India's rank is very bad. So because of this, yes, government need to take some steps to ensure food security. So for that, this GM crops will be very much helpful. So this is the idea of this article. So from UPSC point of view, what you have to focus? So from UPSC point of view, you have to focus on what is this GM mustard, or what is this genetically modified crops, and what is the process that we are using here, because from this process also you can get some prelims questions, and you have to see what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages or negative impacts of this GM crops. Okay, so these are some important things that you have to focus, and this topic is important from your science and technology, which comes under your GS paper 3. And you can expect both prelims and mains question, but most probably you can get a mains question here, because biotechnology is one important and favorite area of UPSC, where every year you can expect a question. So because of this, don't leave this topic, it is very much important. Okay, shall we move on? So now let us try to understand what is the meaning of this genetically modified crops. So genetically modified crops are nothing but in every living cell, either you can take plant cell or either you can take animal cell. So in plant cell or animal cell, we have nuclear material or genetic material. So genetic material or nuclear material. Per se, you can take RNA, that is ribonucleic acid, and DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid. We have DNA and RNA, so this will be normally the genetic material, right? So what happened in this genetic material? We will be having chromosomes. In that chromosomes, we will be having genes. So we are going for alteration of genes, so that whatever the product that we are wishing to come, so that will become whenever we are going for alteration of these genes. So whenever we are producing plants and animals by modifying genes, so these are called as genetically modified organisms or genetically modified plants. So here we are inserting genetic material from another organism in order to give a new property. So what are such new properties that we are going to introduce? So first one is we can increase the yield of that crop, or whenever we are focusing on disease tolerant or herbicide tolerant and resistant to disease or drought, and improves its nutritional value. So these type of plants are called as genetically modified plants. So in these genetically modified plants, so they will be having some extra characteristics. What are they? Sometimes they will increase yield, sometimes they will be herbicide tolerant, sometimes they are drought tolerant, and even we can see there will be high nutritious value. So high nutritious value in the form of, for example, golden rice, and increased yield, for example, GM mustard, and herbicide, that is BT brinjal. Okay, disease resistant, that is BT cotton. Okay, so these are some examples, okay, which are having the specific characteristics when we are going for this genetically modification or modifying their genes. I hope you are connecting the points, right? And if you see this image, you can understand how this process of genetical engineering will happen. So first one, we are taking the desired organism or a bacteria. So from that bacteria, we are isolating the DNA. That is, isolating means removing that. So after removing that, we are going for cloning and designing the genes that we need, and we are transforming that genes into the plant cell, and we are going for tissue culture, and finally plant will be getting, and we are breeding that plants. And these plants now we got, they will be having the new characteristics that we are focusing on. Okay, so this is a method. So what are the benefits of these GM crops? So first and the foremost thing here is, yes, we can increase the nutritious value of the food. For example, we can introduce proteins, vitamins or vaccines. For example, in this golden rice, we are focusing on vitamin A. And this one is, crops can be produced that lack due to allergens. So what happens? So they do not have any allergens, and even they can grow in arid conditions for better yield. So this point is very important, and I want to elaborate on this point, because in future we are going to face water crisis. Already you know that here in many cities we are facing this water crisis. So if water is not there, if there is a limited amount of water, means we can't go for production. That is food grain production or agriculture. So for this condition especially, we need to increase agriculture produce, right? Because on another side, population is increasing day by day, and due to increasing of population, there will be increased demand for food production, correct? So because of this, on another side, we are seeing there is decreased water availability. So there is a need to go for designing of plants that can be grow even better in the arid condition. That is, they will be requiring very less amount of water. So from that point of view, so this genetic engineering will be very much useful for in our future. And one more point that I studied in one article in Down to Earth, that here Swaminathan, MS Swaminathan, he came up with research, and he already came up with one species of plant which can be grown in saline water, that is saline resistant or saline tolerant plants. So why this saline tolerant plants is important, that the thing he said was like, so in future there will be the soil and fertility is seen, and most of the productive soils will be converted into saline soils because of large amount of groundwater extraction. So because of this, yes, we need to go for focusing on the plants that can grow in this saline also, in the saline soils also. So because of this, he had some specimens of saline tolerant plants that will be very much useful in the future. Okay, so that will be like Akshay Patra for future generation. So these are 2 points that you have to remember, and these are from current affairs. And this one is, genetically modified crops, they can produce herbicides to kill pests. And this one is, they can also improve this food supply, agriculture in poor countries. Okay, and next one is, genetically modified crops, they will be having very long shelf life. That means, so there will be less spoiling of food. Okay, because if you see like some products like fruits, vegetables, they will be spoiled very fastly. So if you are having this type of genetically modified crops, so we can increase the shelf life of those vegetables and fruits, so that we can minimize the losses as well. And this one is, it also reduces economic cost and carbon footprint, okay, so that we can go for clearing and pesticide usage, that will be also decreased. So these are some possible benefits of using of this genetic engineering in these crops. So is it clear? Are you connecting the points? Are you getting bored? No, right? And let us see what are the risks which are associated with these GM crops. So here you can divide this risk based on environment, health and agriculture. So let us try to see one by one. So first let us see what will be the risk or environment. So whenever there is a toxins in this pest resistant genetically modified organism, they will be having negative impact on ecosystem. So they will be harming our ecosystem. And next one is toxins. They will be having impact on organisms and harmful ecosystems. And even whenever there is a cross species pollination, that will also leads to the development of super weeds. And biodiversity could be negatively affected by destruction of pests, weeds and even competitive plants. So in this way, yes, we will be having the negative impacts on our environment. And next one is this about health, right? So regarding this health, proteins transcribed and translated from transferred gene that can cause allergic reactions in humans. So whenever there is a modification of genes, whenever we are taking such a food, that will leads to allergic reactions. And antibiotic resistance can also be seen, so that we can see wide range of new diseases that will be increasing, and even that will be increased hospital stay, and that will lead to death trap in families. And transferred genes, they have ability to go for mutations, and that will further leads to unexpected risk also. We can't expect what is going to be happening in future. And if you see here, we also can see what are the risk on agriculture. So genetically modified organisms with pest toxins, they could increase evolution of resistance in certain pest population. So here there will be increasing of resistance. And big biotech companies, they will be having monopoly over these seeds, because whenever we are getting these genetically modified seeds and we are sowing in our farms, so we can go for only one crop. We can't save the produce for the next crop. So because of this, again, a farmer who wants to go for growing of that same crop, they have to go to again company and they have to go for again getting of new seeds. So because of this, what happened, there might be the monopoly in the market. And this one is genetically modified organisms. They present two major agricultural problems in the form of pesticides and herbicide resistance. So these genetically modified organisms, they will be also leading to pesticides and herbicide resistance. So these are some important risks regarding the use of genetically modified plants and genetically modified animals. So is it clear? And now let us see way forward what government can do. So government needs to have a good approach regarding what will be the issues of using of this herbicide tolerant crops transparently, and we have to even focus on the precaution of these issues. And this one is government is pushing ahead with GM mustard. So because of this, yes, we have to see whether there is a compatibility between science and law or not. And government is not adequately responding to criticisms from agriculture scientists that already available non-GM mustard hybrids, they have better yield than GM mustard. So even if you are having knowledge about this traditional mustard, so traditional mustard, they can be grown in less water. Okay, there are less water intensive crop, and even this traditional variety is producing lot of produce compared to this GM mustard. And this one is Supreme Court, if allows this GM mustard to go through, then it will also leads to the way of coming up with this use of cotton, rice, maize, etc. So because of this, there might be some adverse impact seen on environment. So this is the way forward for this so and so step. Okay, so now let us see next topic. It is about India seeks Australia's help to battle against Nipah virus. Right? So here you have to focus on this Nipah virus. Already from last 3 days we are discussing about this Nipah virus. So we are not going to discuss the basic facts in this lecture. I don't want to waste your time. So please do revise these facts, okay, from the PDF which is posted already in the Telegram channel. And here we are focusing on just one topic, that is antibodies. Okay, antibodies. To understand this, yes, we have to know what is the difference between antigen and antibody. So whenever any foreign body, okay, whenever any foreign body which is entering into our body, so whenever any foreign body which is entering into our body, so that foreign body is called as antigen. So normally this antigen will be disease causing organisms. So this antigen, they will cause disease in humans, for example, right? So whenever this antigen, they are entering into our body, so our body will have immune system, right? So we have immune system. So this body is having immune system. For example, we have T cells, right? And we have white blood cells, okay, monocytes, etc. So they will be acting as a good immune system. That means it will be not allowing the foreign things to enter into body, or whenever they are entering, they will be acting against them. So what happened, our body immune system will be identifying that this so and so antigens, they came into body. So our body will be releasing antibodies. They are Y-shaped structures. Okay, so whenever these antibodies are detecting this antigens, so they will be forming antigen antibody complex. So they will be forming this antigen antibody complex and they will be neutralizing. Okay, so this is a normal mechanism of our immune system. So if our immune system is failing, means what happened? This antigen will be replicating in body. So if our immune system is failed, means so antigens will be replicating in the body and they will be freely moving in the blood and they will be reaching each and every body part, so that it will lead to the damage to our cells and that will lead to the pathology or the disease condition in the humans. Is it clear? So this is the mechanism. So now here this article said that we are taking help of Australia to get monoclonal antibody. To get monoclonal antibody. So here we have to focus on what is this monoclonal antibody. So there is a high chance of getting in your prelims regarding this topic, that is monoclonal antibody and what are the drugs. Okay, so this will be very important and try to focus. As you know, this topic is important from science and technology, which comes under your GS paper 3. And this monoclonal antibody is important from your prelims point of view. So if you see context, it says that India has reached out Australia seeking to restock monoclonal antibody doses to combat this Nipah virus. Even during this COVID-19 or coronavirus also, we use this monoclonal antibodies, and there is increased spread of this Nipah virus in Kerala, and even Kerala, it is also having lot of restrictions because to limit the transmission of this Nipah virus cases. And India is expecting 20 more doses of this monoclonal antibodies soon from Australia. So because of this is the news. And now let us see some basic facts regarding this monoclonal antibodies. So these monoclonal antibodies, they are artificially created antibodies, and the important aim of these antibodies, it is to improve natural immune system of body, and they will be targeting the special antigen and protein from the pathogen that induces human response. So now let us try to understand how this monoclonal antibodies will be made. For example, here we have Nipah virus. So for example, let us take this is Nipah virus which is causing this disease, and we are injecting this Nipah virus for a big animal. For example, you can take horse, cow, etc. So whenever this antigen is entering into this horse and cow, so those immune system will be get activated and they will be producing antibodies. And here we are collecting these antibodies, especially which are monoclonal antibodies. So this is the method we are producing these antibodies. And let us see how they are created. So monoclonal antibodies can be created in lab by exposing white blood cells to particular antigen. So whenever we are taking these white blood cells and whenever we are using this antigen against that white blood cells, normally these antibodies will be produced. So to increase the quantity of these antibodies, a single white blood cell is cloned and is turned to create identical copies of the antibodies. So even in case of this COVID-19 also, we made this monoclonal antibodies. So what is the need of this monoclonal antibodies? So in a healthy body, immune system is able to create antibodies. They are normally Y-shaped proteins in our blood. So what happens, because of increased attack of this antigens, our body immune system may fail sometimes, so that antibodies will be not generated, or if it is generated, that will be in a very less number. So that will be killed by these antigens. So because of this, people whose immune system which is unable to make sufficient amounts of these antibodies, now we can inject this monoclonal antibodies to that patients to save their life. So because of this, we need this monoclonal antibodies. I want to give you one more main question for practice, that is, what are monoclonal antibodies? Why are they significant? And the keyword here is discuss. So discuss means you have lineage now. So whatever you know, you can write which is relevant to this question. Okay, so try to write what is this monoclonal antibodies in introduction. In body, just you have to write about what is the importance of this monoclonal antibody, and finally you can conclude that why we are talking about this monoclonal antibodies now. Okay, because of this Nipah cases. Is it clear? Are you following? And next topic, it is about Jal Jeevan Mission remains a pipe dream. So whenever you are seeing any scheme in news, so you have to see what are the provisions of that scheme. So first one is you have to see what are the provisions, and next one here is some important details and which type of scheme that is, whether central sector scheme or centrally sponsored scheme, right? And apart from that, here you have to see like under which ministry it comes under, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of that scheme, because in your governance you may get question regarding the schemes and even schemes which comes into part of your prelims as well. So prelims also there is a chance of asking question regarding the schemes that had been done in 2023 prelims. Okay, so now let us see this topic in detail. So if you see context, it says that on Independence Day 2019, water-starved one district in eastern UP reported just 1612 pipelines. Okay, pipelines, that means households with tap connections. But now it is around 1,30,000 households. They are having this households or house with tap water connection. That means we can say it is one of the great success. One of the great success of this Jal Jeevan Mission, right? So now let us try to see this topic in detail. So what is this Jal Jeevan Mission? So this mission launched in year 2019, and under this scheme, government said that we are going to provide 55 liters of water per person in rural households, and that too through functional pipelines to households, and the target year is 2024. Okay, it comes under Jal Shakti Ministry. And what is the important aim? Important aim, it is to supply water to the functional households, so that they are focusing on water connections, water quality monitoring, and as well as testing, and even sustainable agriculture. So they are also focusing on conservation of water and drinking water source augmentation, drinking water supply system, and grey water management. Grey water is nothing but domestic wastewater. So the wastewater which we generate after cleaning of utensils or after washing of water, after bathing, etc. So that water comes under grey water. So they are also focusing on this grey water treatment and management. And what are the features of this Jal Jeevan Mission? So they are focusing on integrated demand and supply side management of water at local level. And even they are focusing on creation of local infrastructure. Especially they are focusing on rainwater harvesting, rainwater management, groundwater recharge and management. Okay, so these are the some things which they are focused. And apart from this mission is based on community approach to water and even includes extensive information, education, communication. They are the key components of this mission. So these are some important features of this Jal Jeevan Mission. I hope it is very much clear, right? So now I want to make a small announcement. We in Rathod's IS, we are coming up with Geography live class course, and this course, which includes 60 hours of live classes and covers each and every subtopic from your Indian geography and world geography. So one problem with geography here is there is no detailed explanation of subtopics in geography in our syllabus. So we are coming up with detailed list of micro listing of topics as well, and there will be discussion on each and every topic so that you can get the concepts, because in geography conceptual clarity is very important. Like you have to understand why desert is present only here, why there is forest which is present only here, and different types of climatic systems, why it is there. So why there is a winds movements is happening like this manner only. So why this El Nino is impacting now the food security of our country. So everything is interlinked with the geography. So if you understand the geography, even you can understand history and economy as well. So for that, the conceptual clarity of this geography is very important. And we are going to teach from basic to advanced level. So if you say that I have no knowledge regarding this geography, means if you join this course, says you can understand the geography well. And we're also going to discuss previous questions of prelims and even mains, so that you can understand how the question will be framed, so that you can understand the examination pattern. And next one here is, we are also going to give you daily mains question for practice and even prelims question for practice for that course. And this one here is, if you're not attending the live on that day, you can get the recorded classes. And this course, it is for 30 days, right? So for the next 15 days, you can get this recorded class. That means you can watch the videos for 45 days. And next one is, you will be having doubt clearing sessions and mentorship. And one more thing here is, there is a separate session on the keywords, right? That is very, very important. And these all will be covered under rupees 3,000 only if you are the one of the students who enrolled before September 20, and if you are in the top 20 students. That means only for the first 20 students we are going to give this offer of this 3,000 rupees. And if you want to join this course, you can contact me on this number, that is 8074765513. And this course is going to start from September 20 onwards, and daily we will be having live class from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So this is about this course. And apart from that, we also launched this mains answer writing course. So if you are a student who are facing difficulty in answer writing, because answer writing is a very important task and challenge, you have to complete your answers within 7 to 8 minutes and within word limit, and you have to write answer according to the keyword or directive which is given. So for that, a lot of practice is very important, and at least one answer a day is very much important if you are preparing for the next year. So this course is absolutely useful for the beginners and even for the students who already gave their attempts. So try to join this course, it is very much useful. And here we are covering your GS 1, 2, 3 and 4, and even for every question we are giving model answer. And next one is, we are also giving you the detailed evaluation for your answers, and there will be live doubt clearing sessions on every Sunday and Saturday. So this will be very, very useful, and weekly one doubt clearing session will be there for one batch. Okay, so try to join this course, and the course cost is 8,200 rupees. And one more thing is, if you want to enroll, you can call me on this number, that is 8074765513, or even you can visit our website Rathod's IS Academy. So if you are visiting our Rathod's IS Academy website, so you can also get other courses, and you can watch the demo videos of other courses like geography, history, economy, everything. Okay. And one more important update I want to come here is, so many students they have a doubt regarding what should be the strategy plan for the next year and for 2025, right? So many students have been stuck up with, so what should be the best strategy what should be the best strategy for 2024 and 2025. So if you want to clear this UPSC, yes, we need a good plan, and we need to know about what to read and what not to read, and which books you have to refer, and as well as how to make notes. So every student, they will be having these doubts, right? So if you are a student, you are having that doubts, and if you started your preparation, you can join live class, that too free live class at 8 p.m. on an academy platform. So I am going to take live class, which is absolutely free, at 8 p.m. So it will be like 1 hour class. So there we are going to discuss the best strategy for 2024 and 2025. So if you have any doubts regarding the strategy, you can come online there. So there you can ask me questions, and we are going to discuss answer for your question. And there are a lot of options there. So we are going to discuss the things regarding what will be the best plan, and what to read and what not to read, and even book list separately for prelims and mains, and as well as some tips to clear this UPSC CSE. Okay, so and the link of this class is given in the description box. So please set the reminder so that you will be not forgetting to attend this class. Okay, so this is about this announcement that I am coming on Unacademy Live. And now let us see today's Hindu newspaper PDF. I discussed this topic, and as well as I discussed that GST appellate tribunal topic. And in the today's city page, there is nothing much important. And if you move on, you can directly move on to this editorial page today. In state page also, I didn't find anything important, and today is Saturday, right? So there is no op-ed page. So this article, which is about the special session, already we discussed this special session number of times. Okay, and please let me know. I want to ask you one question, like whether this concept of special session is mentioned in our constitution or not. Yes or no, please let me know in the comment box. And this topic is not much important. And if you move on, I discussed about this GM crops, and this topic is also not important. It's a political article which is going on in AP state. And ground zero, there is article regarding Nipah virus. Already number of times we discussed about this Nipah virus. And in this news page, you can see there is one article. This is about DAC, that is Defense Acquisition Council, gives not to buy 12 Su-30 jets, other military equipment. So here you have to focus on what is this Defense Acquisition Council. If you are following this Rathod Science Academy current affairs, already we discussed that topic number of times. You might have an idea regarding what is our DAC, and please do revise the topic. And next topic is India seeks Australia's help in battle against Nipah virus. So I discussed this topic, and here I forgot to add India-Australia relations. So you have to see in which groupings India and Australia, they are both members, and how the coordination cooperation is there between this Australia and India. So this is also very important. And here there is one important article, that is a platform will assess top 50 judges before appointment in Supreme Court, says CJI. So if you have idea regarding appointment of judges to High Court and Supreme Court, there we studied about this collegium system. So there is one problem with collegium system, that is there is lack of transparency. So because of this, we came up with a platform. Okay, so this platform, which is built by a young team of distinguished scholars, interns, law researchers, they came up with a broad platform, and this platform will be giving information regarding top 50 judges who are going to be appointed for this Supreme Court. So that this is the one way that we can increase transparency in appointing process. And if you move on here in this page, you can see this article regarding Jal Jeevan Mission. I discussed this topic. And next topic, it is about PM Cares Fund. So actually, what is this PM Cares? PM Cares is nothing but it is a scheme came up by government to help orphan children. That means the children who lost their parents or guardians during this COVID-19 period. So government is helping such children, that those children are nothing but the parentless children. So here you have to see some facts regarding this PM CARES. So please do some research regarding this PM CARES fund. And in the world page also there is nothing much important. And in business page you can see wrong to access economic activity on GDP alone, says finance minister. So here you have to focus on what is this GDP and what is this PMI, that is Purchasing Managers Index. And next topic is Indian space startup says funding is a top challenge. So what happened? So we are moving forward in the space sector. So if you see the space sector, what happens? So here we need a lot of funding for the single mission. So it is one challenge. So this is the thing which mainly said, so that they can provide, that is government can provide support for the space sector. So these are some important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I am concluding. And if you are visiting this Rathod site for the first time, so please do subscribe. And I want to show you the website of Rathod's IAS Academy, how it will be, so that you will be having an idea, right? So you can type Rathod's IAS Academy. Okay, so this is our website, Rathod's IAS Academy. So this is the home page. So here you can see the different modules like courses that we are offering, syllabus, book list, free downloads. Okay, and here in these courses we are offering wide range of courses like geography, history, economy, like that. You can click on this course list so that you can see the courses that we are providing. Okay, so if you are visiting to our website for the first time, you have to register with your email ID, and after registering you have to log in with the account, and you will be getting the courses will be open, and you can see the demo videos. And we are also providing the foundation course here. The cost of this foundation course is 45,000 rupees and the validity is 2 years. So in this foundation course you will be having all the GS material and GS classes, and apart from that there will be essay also included, and even there will be prelims test series, mains answer writing practice, mains test series, and as well as prelims booster course. So these are the courses that we are offering. And if you click on this play course, you can see 3 demo videos in each and every course for free. And here we have this mains answer writing course. You can join here. Okay, you can click here and you can join here if you want to join this daily mains answer writing practice. Okay, so here we have foundation course. You can do the payment here, okay, if you want to join this foundation course. And one more thing is, if you want to talk to me directly regarding these courses, you can call me on this number 8074765513. Okay, that's all for today. So from tomorrow onwards we are going to have live at 9 AM, but because of some technical issues we came with the recorded video today. Thank you so much for watching this lecture, and don't forget to like and share this video as well. Thank you so much.